Couple things to talk about here as we move on into some news. This was originally this is what we were going to lead with today, but then obviously Toy Story dropped, and we'll talk about that a little bit more at length. I wish that Riley's not here, and neither is Roca. But so, Alex, can you bring up the article of Lorenzo Di Bonaventura, who I actually like as a producer, but said some very disturbing things when it comes to. Not serious disturbing, but disturbing when it comes to
creatively
Transformer fandom. Now, I'm paraphrasing from what I heard more or less that they're going to go back into the sequel. They're going to do a sequel to Last Night, for another Michael Bay one, and then they're going to do more Bayisms they're going to add more Bayisms to Bumblebee. And like Carlin, I say, why? Leave it alone. Just because Bumblebee didn't make as much money, it's because people were so burnt out on the last Transformers.
Totally.
It's like it was the best Transformers you ever made. Get away from the Bayisms. Get away from that shit. Let Travis Knight do his thing. This is what Di Bonaventura said. We are already working on 2 projects, and both have scripts under development. One is the latest in the main family series, following the events of Transformers: The Last Night. Who cares? The movie sucked. And the other is a sequel to Bumblebee. So we were thinking of films where Optimus Prime and Bumblebee will be the buddies, but when Optimus and Bumblebee are the movies of the protagonists, how human beings get involved in their drama in the first place. The size is different between human beings and theirs. It's a worrying. It's a what? It's a worrying point. Okay, keep going down. Where's the Bayisms? I don't know. There was a question about Bayisms or something though too. Wherever it is, it's not there. But from the article that Riley was showing me yesterday is that he's
because that didn't make me as worried.
It did, but that's not the article I was looking for. There was one for that Riley might have included it. There you go. Transformers. Go back up there. Transformers producer says Bumblebee follow-ups will have a little bit more bayhem. So let's go to the quotes here.
I get it, like mayhem.
Thank you.
Bay.
Yes,
like
right.
Timothée Chalamet.
All right, the audience had asked us several times in different ways, I want to get to know a Transformer better. We did that. That's true. Travis Knight did that in some respects. Definitely a tip to what the audience had said to us. The interesting part is when you set out to do something like that, you don't know the ramifications of it. In this case, the ramifications of it, for the people who didn't love the movie, there wasn't enough action. That's the problem with studio heads, man. It was perfect. Because you're telling a more intimate story, therefore you can't. So the criticism we got from fans was like, hey, come on, it was funny. I was just in Japan, and one of the reporters to me said, I love the movie. I love this. I love that. And I was very tired of Michael Bay. I said, I've heard this before. And he goes, but after watching this film, I've kind of wished it had more Michael Bay. I wish you never ran into that person. It was really funny. I said, listen, I completely understand. I like what Michael does too. 2 different films, 2 different attempts.
This person ruined all of our lives.
Ruined it. It ruined it because
a little more bayhem is like the worst thing you can do to a movie.
Here we go. Wait, so
I like to disagree with all of that.
Continuing back into this quote, Michael Bay. Lorenzo continues and he says, several lessons have come out of this. One is that we have to have the freedom to tell almost any story. The other is the other is how strongly the audience is identified with the strength of the character and emotion. I know the next Transformer, our attempt anyway, is to do sort of a fusion of Bumblebee and the Bay movies, gross, a little more Bayhem, gross, and a little bit more of the character falling in love with the emotional dynamic of the movie. One of the things I want to do, and I hope we pull it off, is that we did it with Bumblebee because he's so cute and so accessible, but he can't talk. I think the more human we can make these characters, the more people are going to like them. I don't disagree with that. I agree with that, but I think the problem is,
one person said, people said there needs to be more action. Who are you talking to? Because are you listening to everybody saying that the movie was good? The only things that I consistently was hearing were John Cena, nah.
He was the worst.
That was the only thing that, and obviously I saw it, and I didn't even dislike John Cena that much, but if you're listening to any note, that was the one. Where are you? Who are these people? The action.
Who are these people? I mean, come on.
What's the deal with these people?
Why do you need more Michael Bay? There's an explosion. There's a hot bikini. I mean, come on.
I think that Michael Bay is the greatest director to touch movies. I'm
gonna go.
Are you making a joke or are you being serious?
No, listen, I love Michael Bay.
No, I don't dislike Bay either, but are you making a joke or being serious that he's the best director?
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying of all the Michael Bay movies, I've never disliked one.
I've never liked
Did you
one.
see all the Transformers?
Did you see all the Transformers?
I didn't hate them. I mean, they're fine. Here's the thing.
I don't-
We're fighting giant robots. You can't win. You can't beat the robots. You got to have the other robots fight the other robots. Humans can't beat them.
But even the action in those movies is boring.
Yeah.
So
Because
boring.
you
It's so
can't
badly.
connect.
Yeah, you can't.
Yes.
You can't see anything.
Because here's the difference
It
in what
sucks.
Travis Knight did in that movie. It opened up. It's funny because I saw this movie with Ellis, and the movie starts off on Cybertron. And Ellis and I perked up on our
Same.
seats. And we're like, wait, what the hell? This is the movie we've been waiting for years.
Yep.
And it actually felt like I was watching the 80s cartoon to where it was like everything that I wanted to see. And it worked. And the battles, the only thing I didn't like about the movie, like you said, was John Cena because I felt like he was in a Michael Bay movie.
I actually kind of felt like he was doing like a cheesy, cool 80s thing. And I didn't hate it.
Yeah,
I didn't
see,
hate it
I just
either.
thought it was a different feel of what the rest of the movie did.
Funny enough, Transformers made in China. So
Thank you.
originated. Yeah.
Let me ask you this, though.
Originated
Okay,
in
so
China.
what you're getting at, what you're upset is that they want to do more Bayisms, right? And I don't know, how much did Bumblebee make? I'm sure it made its money back.
It did. It did. That's probably where it stems from. Is that because all these movies with Bay did very good, but the problem was that people started to get sick of them.
Yeah.
And people started. It's the same shit. Like the last one was atrocious. The stuff with Stanley Tucci in the beginning is Merlin cracking jokes. It was awful. And fans finally said, "All right, even the ones who liked it, I'm getting sick of this."
Yeah, that was a little weird.
Yeah, then they give it to Travis Knight. He changes it, but people were still sick and they had the taste of Michael Bay. They're like, I'm not going to go see that movie. And it didn't do as well.
And you really want to open up against Spider-Verse, Aquaman, and Mary Poppins?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what did it do? Can you bring up Bumblebee? What did it do worldwide?
And also, we
As
talked about it
compared to the
live,
last
it's
night.
called Bumblebee. It wasn't called Transformers.
Right.
Correct.
The
Yep.
Bumblebee
You're
or
right.
something like that.
No, you're right.
And so the casual fans like,
Right.
Bumblebee.
So-
it's probably some indie film with Elle Fanning as
Yeah.
a Bumblebee.
Bumblebee did.
Not that far off.
Can you bring it
with,
up, though? 'Cause-
the casting.
Thanks. So worldwide, it made $459 million worldwide, and it cost $135 million to make. So
Still did well.
it did well, but
Not
it
as
didn't
well as it could have.
bring up the last night, please, because domestically it only made 127. That's probably where they
Worldwide, I mean, like 680 billion.
correct. So the Transformers: The Last Night, which is the last Michael Bay shit piece, and that one did 605.
Yeah.
It did 605.
It's because it
Who
was
are
called
these people going to
Transformers.
see
Who are
this
these
shitty
people?
movie? Who are these
The
people going to see
international
shitty
audience.
Transformers movies? I don't
And there's a
understand.
lot
The
of...
movie's 2 hours and 30 minutes.
That's a long time.
It's terrible. That movie is terrible.
229.
It's... What?
Round it out. 229. It's
Spoken like a true fascist.
fascism again.
Yeah.
Originated. Okay. All right. So anyway, I
Can Michael Bay just get back to doing like a regular action movie? I don't want to see
Exactly.
him
Why-
do any more Transformers
Why is he so
movies.
obsessed with this? Is it just because he has to have a producer credit? Like,
Yeah.
but he doesn't need to just be an executive producer and make money. Just let people be
Because
creative
I-
and do
I
a better
think
movie than you can.
Michael Bay
dumpster
is
full
doing.
a dumpster full of money.
Michael Bay is laughing straight to the bank.
Yeah.
He's doing exactly what he should be doing, which is just making
But you
all
can
the
still
money.
make
Just make Bad
money
Boys
without
3.
having to have so much creative input.
Right,
though.
but that's just who he is.
Yeah, but that's just like narcissism. I mean, just
No shit. Yeah, but look, he's made, and you can understand again from the business point of view with Lorenzo Di Bonaventura, to where the last movie that they put out The Last Night, it does 605 million worldwide, and that's like 150 million more than Bumblebee did. And that, by the way, the Transformers: The Last Night was significantly less than the last ones too, and that's still a lot of money.
Yeah.
So you look and you go, well, we should put Michael Bay back in it, but you don't. This is the thing that executives do wrong all the time. It's the word of mouth with Bumblebee with fans was so positive that if you put that thing you start to take the serious road that you did and give it the heart that people were looking for a long time,
see that.
it'll start to build again. You got to trust in the franchise. You got to trust in the creative and not just go back to the simple bullshit of let's blow things up. Let's be confusing. Let's have Michael Bay also. The problem with Michael Bay, this does not count for Bad Boys because Will Smith and Martin Lawrence drive the comedy in that. He does not. His comedy telling is so bad.
It's not great.
He thinks he's so funny, and no one tells him, you are not funny. You do not know how to shoot comedy. You are not funny. All his stuff just lands like just like that.
His best non-Martin Lawrence, Will Smith movie is The Rock, and there isn't one piece of comedy in The Rock really.
I mean, again, I think that Nicolas Cage does some pretty good comedy
Sure.
stuff that works, but it's
unintentional.
yeah,
Nicolas Cage comedy.
But Nicolas Cage is just, oh, hey, come on.